What's up, Silver and Black? The regular season is just around the corner, but first, the Raiders face the Cardinals in their final preseason test. We've got players who are surprising everyone, defying expectations, and fighting for a spot on the team. Who are these guys that can turn the game around? Subscribe to the channel now to find out the names everyone's talking about and stay on top of everything. Hey Raiders Nation, we're just one step away from the regular season. There's only one more preseason game left, which is happening Saturday night against the Arizona Cardinals. After 2 games, we have a much better idea of who will make the final roster and who might be saying goodbye. But hey, there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. The roster is full of question marks, and there are a few players who have the door wide open to surprise everyone and secure a spot, even if no one expected it at the beginning. I've picked 3 names that fit this underdog who can turn the game around vibe perfectly. These are guys who are fighting tooth and nail to prove their worth. Let's talk about them one by one, because each story is one of those that keeps you glued to the screen, cheering as if it were a touchdown in the Super Bowl. First up, quarterback Cam Miller. This guy was drafted in the 6th round in April. And honestly, the QB position for the Raiders was pretty solid with Geno Smith and Aiden O'Connell. He came into training camp facing an uphill battle to make the team. But folks, in the first preseason game, Miller shined. He made some impressive plays. In the second game, he wasn't as explosive, but he still delivered some beautiful passes that caught attention. If you watch the Week 2 broadcast, you know that the legendary Rich Gannon, a Raiders idol, is super excited about him. And there's more. Before the draft, Miller got an endorsement from Tom Brady, who is a minority owner of the team. Despite O'Connell's difficulties this offseason, I don't think Miller has done enough to steal the QB2 position from the veteran. That would be the upset of all upsets. But hey, he's shown enough potential for the Raiders to keep him around, developing him into something big for the future. Can you imagine this guy growing and becoming our hero one day? Now let's move on to wide receiver Shedrick Jackson. This is Bo Jackson's great nephew, a legend. He came into training camp without much hype, but has become one of the biggest standouts in both preseason games. His best moment was in Week 1. He had 4 receptions for 76 yards and a touchdown. The TD came on a 41-yard pass from Cam Miller, and Jackson made a ridiculous move, leaving the defender on the ground as if it were magic. The Raiders should have 4 locks at the WR position: Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, and Jack Beck. If the team keeps 6, that leaves 2 open spots. Jackson has a real chance to defy the odds and make the roster. At the very least, he'll go to the practice squad if he clears waivers. But, this is one of those classic American football fairy tales that we love. Last but not least, offensive lineman Laki Tasi. This guy is a total newcomer to American football. He came through the International Player Pathway program. It was already tough for him to make the roster, and then the Raiders asked him to switch from the defensive line to the offensive line during minicamp. He's a giant, 6'6" and 344 lbs. Against all expectations, Tasi is impressing. In the preseason games, he has been moving mountains on the line, playing as a right guard. In his debut, he earned very high grades from Pro Football Focus, 78.5 in pass blocking and 79.6 in run blocking, without giving up a single pressure in 17 snaps. In Week 2, 0 pressures again, and 78.7 in pass blocking and 12 snaps. Head coach Pete Carroll said this offseason, "It's a true treasure to see him develop." So by the IPP rules, the Raiders can keep him on the practice squad without him counting against the 16-player limit. But if we've noticed him, other teams have too. If they cut him, he might not clear waivers. In the end, Tasi may have done enough to earn a direct spot on the 53-man roster. That would be an epic upset, the kind that becomes a legend. So, Raiders Nation, what do you think of these underdogs? They are fighting to turn the game around, and this final game against the Cardinals could be decisive. Stay tuned, because the regular season is knocking on the door, and the Raiders will need all the grit they can get to shine. If you enjoyed this exclusive news, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything about the Raiders, and share it with your fellow fans. Let's grow this Silver and Black community. Which of these 3 players do you think has the best chance of surprising everyone and making the final roster? Tell me in the comments. I read all of them. Thanks, fan. See you next time.